Hello everyone and welcome to the MySQL crash course for beginners. MySQL is a very popular open source relational database management system, short for RDBMS. MySQL is ideal for both small and large applications, and it's very fast, reliable, scalable, easy to use, and cross-platform. Now let's talk about RDBMS. RDBMS is a short for Relational Database Management System, and it's a program used to maintain a relational database. And let me show you what I mean by that. Alright, so relational database is actually, we have got these three tables. Tables are basically the collection of rows and columns. Say we have got this database for your e-commerce store, and you have got three different tables: customers, orders table, and shippers table. And each of the tables, they have, say, the unique ID. In this case, we have customers table, and here we have customer ID. In orders table, we have got order ID, and here we have shippers table, and in shippers table we have shipper ID. So all of these three IDs are actually primary key, just to identify the record in each of the table. But if you want to connect more than one table, you always need foreign key, which is, say, in our orders table we have this customer ID, employee ID, and shipper ID. So these are all foreign keys, and with the help of these foreign keys you can make a relationship between all of these three tables. Because if you want to identify what orders your customer, say Cruz Montoya, Brian Kennedy, or Steve Michel, has ordered, so you will definitely need some IDs to make a relationship between orders and customers table. Likewise, we have shippers. Say if you wanna know that who will ship your order number 20308, and which is ordered by the customer ID is 2, and here we have Brian Kennedy having this customer ID 2, and he has ordered something from your store, and you would like to know that who will ship his order. So here is shipper's ID, which is 3, and if you go to shipper's table, you can see the shipper ID number 3 is United Shipping. So this is something what we call relational database management system. Now the first thing you would like to jump into is how to install MySQL, and for that you will need to go to mysql.com, and here go to downloads and go all the way down, and here we have, let me maximize, and you can find here MySQL community GPL downloads. Click here, and as per your operating system, since I'm using Windows, so I will download MySQL installer for Windows. I have already downloaded it, and before download, make sure that, let me decrease the size, so make sure that your download should include MySQL Server, MySQL Workbench, and the sample database that we will need. And you will need to download here this file, which is 288.6 megabytes, and the name of the file is Windows 8632-bit MSI installer, MySQL installer community 8.0.35.0. So let's see how you can install MySQL, and for that you will see this pop-up window. Select yes, and it will take a couple of seconds to give you the interface to install or configure MySQL. And as per your operating system, you can download MySQL and install in your machine, and it will take a couple of seconds. We have already, I'm gonna pause the video until it gives us some meaningful notification. Choosing a setup type, click on this custom, and you will install MySQL Server 8.0 V-8.0.35. Then you will go to applications. From applications, let's select MySQL Workbench 8.0.34, and then from documentation we'll need samples and examples 8.0.35. Click next and hit execute. Now it will download and set up MySQL as well as Workbench as well as some sample, and I don't want to get into too much into the theories, who has created it and what are the benefits. Definitely if you are learning it, if you want to learn it. So now it has completed 90 plus, 98, 99 and 100%. It has done. Now let's next, and they are all. Let me get back and see if we have the Workbench 8.0.35. let's see 8.0. No, the most latest version of Workbench is 8.0.34. so we are at the right track. So let's click next, execute, and now it will install all of these three. So I'm gonna pause the video until it finishes installation. Now it's installing samples and examples. It's done. Click next and click next. Now you will need to configure MySQL server and samples and examples. Click next and you'll come up with this screen, server configuration. You can choose any other port if you like and leave other settings as it is. Click next, and it's recommended to use strong password encryption for authentication. Click next, and here you will need to provide the password for your root user. I'm gonna give it 1 2 3 4 5 just for this tutorial purpose. Click next. You can keep these settings as it is. Click next. Click on this radio button. Yes, grant full access to the user running the Windows service. Click next and hit execute. Now it will apply configuration, and it will take around a minute or two to complete the configuration. Then we will move to that how you can practically work on MySQL. So successfully installed, and congratulations, we are going to finish. And let's I'll take you through configuration wizard for each of the following products. The configuration complete for server, and now for the samples and examples. If you want to check that your user is working by putting the password, you can check here, and that's working. Hit next and execute the script. Now it's running or finalizing, checking if there are any features installed that need configuration. Successfully installed everything. Now let's finish. Next, and I am not going to launch Workbench right now. Let's finish this and make sure that you have successfully installed. Just if you're also working on Windows, so you always have MySQL command-line-client. If you just hit the start and search for MySQL command-line-client, just put here password, hit enter, and it takes you to the MySQL. Welcome to MySQL monitor. And if you want to execute MySQL from anywhere, let me show you. Let me close this, and I am going to open the command prompt. So if you want to run MySQL from anywhere, you will need to add the path, and let me show you the path here. You will need to add this path. Alright, so you will need to add this path if you want to execute MySQL from any path. So you will need to add this path. Let's copy that and just open system properties, environment variables, path, edit, and here you will need to click on new and paste the path that you have just copied from here, and you will need to restart the system, and then you can execute MySQL queries from here as well. That's MySQL, and to connect to the server you will need to -u followed by the user. In our case this is root, followed by -p for password. Hit enter and put your password here, and that says welcome to the MySQL. And if you want to check, you can say select version and current underscore date followed by semicolon. Hit enter and no database, sorry, there is a typo mistake, version. Hit enter and we have got the version of MySQL 8.0.35 and the current date is 23/11/1. So I will not take here too much time on this blank screen. I just want to give you some taste of what's actually happening behind the screens. One of the most important things in MySQL is how you can connect to the server, whether root or new user. We have discussed how you can connect with the root, and obviously you would not like that your database is touched by any other user. So in that case you can create another user or ask your administrator to give you your own database. So in that case, let's create another user, and to create a user you will need query create user followed by name of the user, and in that case I'm gonna give it code straight at localhost, because we are accessing MySQL server on the same machine where it has installed. So you will need to add here localhost, and then another statement identified by followed by the password. In that case I'm gonna give it 12345, otherwise you will need to give some strong password. So now let's hit enter, and that says query okay, 0 rows affected. That means you have successfully created user. Now the queries should be uppercase, as you have noticed that I am, let me see how I can properties, and the font size should be maybe 20. Let's see, or let's make this larger. Go to properties, font, and let's make it 28. Alright, that looks good now. Okay, so the queries that you have noticed that I have added the queries in uppercase, so that's not necessary, but it's just a common convention for SQL, and you would also like to be comfortable with. After successfully creating a new user, you would like to know how to grant privileges to your new user. Privilege system determines whether a user can execute a given command or not, meaning whether they can create or delete database or user. However, you can go to the documentation if you want to see any specific privilege. I am just granting all. So to do that, let's get back to command prompt and add in here grant followed by all privileges on keyword star dot star 2 and the name of the user. In our case this is code straight, followed by at local host within quotes. You have an error. What's the error? At localhost grants or privileges. Alright, so let's remove the space from here, hit enter, and still hit enter. Yes, so that was grant all privileges on star.star to codestraight@localhost.com. You will also need to flush privileges, hit enter, and again it did not work. Let me copy, get back there, and okay, so flush privileges. And if you want to see the privileges, you can type a query here, show grants for, and the name of the user at, sorry, I forgot to add code, localhost, the semicolon, and now you can see all the grants provided to this user, which is grant. It can select, insert, update, delete, and all of that. Alright, so now if you want to check users, you can add here select user from. By the way, first you would like to know the databases. Show. Alright, so these are the default databases provided by MySQL, and if you to use any database, you need to add here use and the name of the database, MySQL, followed by, always remember to add semicolon after your query. So hit enter. MySQL, sorry, I have got typo error. This is MySQL. Alright, and now if you want to see the users, you can type here select user from MySQL dot user, and this is the table in MySQL database, and we have got CodeStraight and root. We have two users here. Now if you want to delete user, you can delete from here. Just type here drop, otherwise but we will delete this user from the root, and for that you will need to disconnect from the server. So to disconnect, just type here quit and hit enter, and that says bye. And now you can connect to the server with the root, say MySQL followed by u root -p, enter the password, and now you can delete the user. Say if you want to see the user, select user from MySQL dot user, hit enter, and you can remove this user if you want to. Just type here drop user, the name of the user, and the host, which is localhost. Close the code and hit enter, and you have successfully deleted. Let's run the query again, and you have successfully deleted CodeStraight. So now you can move on to the next section, which is going to be database, and it's a pretty involved section. Now you will try to create your first database, and the query is create database, and you can see all of these SQLs I have provided here. If you visit just GitHub code straight. I will drop this link in the description, and you can find all of these queries that we are using here. So select version, MySQL root, quit, create new user, grant all privileges, show privileges, and now we are creating the database. Okay, so let's get back to command prompt, create database, and the name of the database would be e-commerce, followed by semicolon, hit enter, and show databases, and you have got this e-commerce as your database. Now if you want to delete this database, you can execute a query, drop database followed by the name of the database. In our case, this is e-commerce, so I'm not going to drop it. And if you want to use any database, you just execute a query, use followed by name of the database, and database changed, meaning now you can use this database. So if you want to see the tables in this database, just execute show databases followed by semicolon, and we have got show tables, because we have changed our database, so we don't have any table right now. But before we move on to create any table in our database, you would definitely like to jump into database or data types, and there are three main data types: string, numeric, and datetime. Let me show you. Here we have got string, numeric, and date and time. I don't want to confuse you, that's why these are the most common at this level. This is fine, and if you want to learn more about data types, you can just comment below, and I'll make a dedicated episode for that. So we have got varchar, and this is used for any letters, numbers, special characters, and the size parameter specifies the maximum column length in characters can be from 0 to 65,535. And if you want to add a record for any numeric value, you can use int, and you don't need to, the size parameter is deprecated, so you can define the value from negative this value to this value, and you can use tiny int. This data type is used for, say, Boolean concept. If you want to retrieve the data for true or false, you can represent true or false in terms of 0 and 1. And then we have date. The format of the date would be years, month, and date. So now let's get back to our black screen, and now let's create your first database by adding a query here, create followed by table. We have already created database. Now we are going to create a table in our e-commerce database, so followed by table keyword and the name of the table, say customers, followed by parenthesis, and the next line is always welcome until you hit the semicolon. So go to the next line, and first you need to give the name of the column. So first column would be, say, customer, I make typo mistakes a lot, customer ID, and its type would be int, and there will also be a constraint which is auto underscore increment, hit comma, and definitely you would not like to add any ID for any table's record. That should be first of all unique, and then it should be auto inserted, so you don't need to add it because we have added here this constraint auto increment. Now go to the next line, and our next column would be customer name, and the type would be varchar, followed by the length would be say 100. I think it's enough, comma, and next column would be address, and the type would be varchar. And I also have a cheat sheet with us, create database, and say create table. So I'm gonna copy this whole thing from here, and let's paste that, and let me tell you what we have entered here. We have created a table followed by the name of the table and provided the information for the columns. Say we have first column would be the customer ID, its data type would be integer, and it will be auto incrementing. And then we have got customer name, address, city, varchar, postal code, also varchar or varchar, then country and primary key. So you also need to specify which column would be the primary key, so that your data would be, the record of your data would be identified easily. We have also specified here primary key, and we have put here customer ID that we have added here. By the way, that should be lowercase, the D should be lowercase. Now if you want to show table that we have just created, so just type here show tables and semicolon, hit enter. Now we have got customer tables. And if you want to see what we have in this table, you can execute a query, select select, and here star or asterisk represents all, followed by from and the name of the table, in this case customers, and that's empty right now because we haven't inserted any record in it. If you want to see what we have in this table, you can put here describe command, the name of the table, which is customers. So we have got customer ID, these fields we have in this table: customer ID, customer name, address, city, postal code, and country. So if you want to add, modify, or delete any column out of these, so you can do that with alter table followed by the name of the table, customers, and let's add a new column here, and the name of the column would be date of, say you would also like to add the date of birth of your customers, RTH, and the type would be obviously date, hit enter, and zeros affected. So if you run the query again, describe customers, now you have got date of birth, previously you did not have. So if you want to remove this column, you can do that just by a little change, which is drop column and the name of the column, and in this case you would not need the type, hit enter, and now if you describe it again, you don't have date of birth anymore. And if you want to delete the table, this customers, let me show you, show tables. So if you want to delete this table, you can do that just by drop table followed by the name of the table, in this case customers, and hit enter. So it will delete customers table. That's all for the black screen, and let's move to the workbench, and let's click here and let's run workbench, because things would be a bit easier in workbench because it's a GUI, graphic user interface, so you will know what's going on, and it would be a bit easier for you to just learn things faster. So hopefully it's on, and at the first you will have this type of screen, welcome to MySQL. If you want to connect by the root, just double click here and the password window will pop up, and if you want to change the user, you can right click and edit connection and add the credentials here, the username, say whatever user you have, then the password, and double click, add the password here, and it will take you to the database or workbench interface. So at first you will get this type of interface we have got here. I will not go into too much detail of workbench. If you want to learn more about workbench, you can just comment below and I'll make a dedicated episode for that. So here we have got these sidebars and this SQL query window, and let me close this snippets bar for now, and you can close this with these icons. And here we have got a couple of options for management purpose. Then we have here schemas tab, and here you will see all the databases and the tables. Right now we have a couple of databases, e-commerce, Sakila, and this world. These two databases, Sakila or Sakaila, whatever it is, and the world is provided by, we at the time of installation we installed the default sample database. So these two databases are provided by Oracle, and this is the database e-commerce that we created on our black screen. So we have got here, if you drop it down, you will see the tables, the views, stored, procedures, the functions, and if you drop down the tables, you will see the table. And if you click here, this object info appears. Here you can see the name of the columns and their types. At first you wouldn't see the font size as we have right now. You would see smaller font size. So if you want to increase the font size, you can go to edit, preferences, and here fonts and colors, and from here you can change the font style and size. And here you will be provided with these four options: the SQL editor that we have right now, the results grid, here we will show all the results, and the scripting shell and script editor. Let me close that. Now let's move on. So if you want to see what we have inside this customers, right now we haven't inserted any record in customers. So just for the sake of learning what you have right now, you can see the records in any table. You would like to add, select all from, and the name of the, and this is the power of this tool. It suggests you the name of the databases, tables, and columns. So to execute this query, you have got these two options. If you want to execute any portion of the query, you can click on this icon, or if you want to execute the statement under the keyboard cursor, you can click on this, or you can also make use of the hotkey, which is control or command, enter. And as you enter, you get the result grid window. Here you will see the result of the queries that you executed, and we have got then output window, action output, and here this little green check suggests that we didn't have any error in the query. Otherwise you would have let me show you. Say by mistake, if we did this, hit enter, you would have this red cross, meaning that you have some error in your query. So let's get back to add as, hit enter, and we don't have any record in our customers table. And here is a section that you have been waiting for, that how you can insert a record in a table. And to do that, you can, let's select all, and I'm gonna turn my caps on and add here insert into followed by name of the table, customers followed by parenthesis and the name of the column. Say you wouldn't need to add the customer ID because it is auto incremented. Just add these 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 columns. So as you just start typing, say C, now it suggests you the name of the table. So say customers dot customer name, comma, and then customers dot address, comma, and then customer dot city, comma, and then you can also wrap this window by clicking this icon. So if you don't see the whole text, you can click on this icon. It will wrap this editor. City followed by customers dot, and after city what we have, postal code and country. So postal code and customers dot country. Alright, so we have specified the name of the columns. Now to add values, you will need the keyword values, UES, and then you will also need parentheses followed by, let's go to the next row, and I'm gonna give here, say strings should be within quotes. So let's add our first customer here, Nick Wahlberg, comma, and the rest would be 5th Avenue, and I always forget to add the quotes, followed by comma, and then New York, the city, followed by comma, and the zip code would be 10128. By the way, this record is fabricated, and it has no actual resemblance, comma, and the name of the country would be United States. Alright, and that completes our first record. Add semicolon and hit controller command enter, and that says 1 row is affected. And let's add a new SQL window, and let's select all from customers and control enter. So you have successfully added the first record in your customers table. So repeatedly adding this select all from customers, what you could do, just come here and right click on the table and select rows, and that will also give you the same results, but it will open again repeatedly. It will open a new window. So let's close that. I don't want to save it. Let's close the customers as well, and I am also going to add some more records. So let's go to our cheat sheet and go to drop. We have done that. And Nick Wahlberg, we have already done it. Let's copy this whole guy from here, and what I'm gonna do, let's remove that and paste that here, and make sure that you add the keyword values if you have more than one value, and we have already added one record, so we wouldn't need this. So let's remove it from here. Hit Control or Command Enter and right click, select rows, and that gives you all of the records you have, all of the customers you have. Now if you want to see any specific column, say only address and city or customer name and address, so you just come here, remove this star and type in here customers followed by period and name of the column you want to return. In our case, customer name followed by comma, any number of columns you can specifically mention here. The next would be customers and address. Control or Command Enter. Now you will get only two columns, customer name and address. So a column often contains many duplicate values, and sometimes you only want to list the different ones. I mean, there shouldn't be duplicate values. So to do that, what you could do is select followed by the keyword distinct, T-I-N-C-T, distinct followed by the name of the column. Now let's see, where do we have duplicate values? I think here in the city we have got two Torontos, so let's get back here and type in here city. Alright, and from customers hit enter, and now you get only distinct values, I mean no duplicates with this query. Now the next thing is, say if you want to see the record in an order like ascending or descending, you can use order by keyword to sort records in ascending order. By default, to sort the records in descending order, you can use the DESC keyword. Let me show you what I mean. So let's get back here, and I'm gonna replace distinct with all. Let's remove the city from here, from customers, and I am going to add here order by statement, and say you would like to order it by customer name. So for that, customers dot customer name, hit enter, and now they are all ordered by ascending. Now if you want to order it by descending, you could add here ASC, meaning ascending is the default, and if you want to get the results in descending order, so you could say DESC, hit Control or Command Enter, and now you get the records in descending order. Now you can move on to the next thing that you're gonna come across quite a bit, and that is where clause. Say with the help of where clause you can filter records. Let me show you what I mean. Say select all from customers where country equals to within quotes, say if you want to have records only from Canada, so type here Canada followed by semicolon, hit enter, and you get the records only from Canada. Now SQL requires single quotes around text values, whereas most database systems allow double quotes as well. However, numeric fields should not be enclosed in quotes. Let me show you what I mean. Say select all from customers where, say, customer ID equals 1, so that's a numeric value, so you don't need to enclose it in quotes. Hit enter and you get the results. Now let's talk about operators. The where clause can be combined with and, or, and not operators. Now if you want to filter otherwise, say if you have just let me show you that again, like where country equals to, say, within quotes, Canada, hit enter. Now say if you want to see the results otherwise, I mean except Canada, what you could do, just come here and add a keyword not and hit enter. Now you get all the results but Canada. And if you want to add more than one condition, you could add and keyword, say select all from customers where country equals to Canada, and you want to see results as per city as well. You only want to see the results from Toronto. So what you could do is just add here and keyword and the name of the column. In this case, this is going to be city equals to, in quotes, and the name and the value would like to filter, say Toronto. Hit enter and you get the results, and it satisfies both the conditions. Now say if you want to get a record with any of the conditions separated by or is true, let me show you what I mean. Say select all from customers where country equals to Canada, or say I'm gonna copy, let's paste it back, and say you want to see the records only from Canada or Germany. So in that case you can add here another country and hit enter, and you get the results from Canada and Germany. But in this case the column should be the same, both the columns should be the same. And there is also a workaround to do that. Say if you want to add more than one values, say you could do the same thing from, let me copy that, I'm gonna paste it here. Let's keep both just for comparative analysis. So I'm gonna add here where country, if you don't want to add these equal sign as many times as you would like to add the values, so what you could do here, just instead add here in function followed by the parenthesis, and you can specify the values here, say the same values like here Canada or Germany. And I'm gonna remove this query, otherwise that'll make an issue. And let's cut that. Alright, and hit enter, and you get the same results with this query. So this is a workaround. Now let's talk about some more operators that can be used in the where clause. We have already discussed equal, and we have greater than, less than, greater than or equal, less than or equal, not equal, between, and like. So we'll go through all of them one after another. Now before we move on, let's create a table, products table, and let's bring up our cheat sheet. So it's right here, and I am going to say and or I'm gonna create, say, products table. Let's copy this query from here, and after copying this query, just hit enter, and you will need to refresh your schemas by clicking this icon. And if you go to the tables, sorry, there are some issues. Fail to open reference table suppliers, so you will need to add suppliers first. So let's find suppliers. Where are suppliers? Alright, so right there. I'm gonna copy this query from here and get back to workbench, and let's remove it. Paste the query we have just copied, hit enter, and that should give us the suppliers table. The reason it did not allow to add the products table because we have a foreign key in products as suppliers. So now we can also insert some data into suppliers table, just come here and copy the query from here. Just to make things faster, that's why I'm just copying all of these so we can learn more. So there is an issue. Alright, so hit enter. So we have green tick, it means we have inserted the record in suppliers. Just right click and select rows. We have got suppliers, and now let's try to add products. No, let's create products table, copy the query from here and get back to MySQL workbench, select all, delete, paste, hit enter. Now we have green tick, meaning it has created the table for products. And now let's insert some records in the products table. Copy the query from here and select all, delete and paste, hit enter. And now let's refresh the schemas and right click on products, select rows. Alright, so we have products here. Now let's jump back in operators. So if you want to select the products having price greater than 19, so what you could do is just come here, select all. I'm gonna close these editors for now. Let's select all, remove, and type in here select all from, now products, where name of the column say price greater than 19, hit enter, and we get the records of the products having a price greater than 19. And if you want to go otherwise or less than 19, you could change this with less than sign, hit enter, and now we get the results less than 19. Or if you want to see equals to or greater than or less than, just replace it with less than equals to, hit enter. So now we have also included 19 and less than 19 if I order it by ascending, so 10, 18 and 19. And if you want to see the results greater than or equals to 19, hit enter. Now we have got 19, 21 and 22. And you could go otherwise as well. So not equals to 19, just add here sign of exclamation, equals to, hit enter. You get all the records except 19. Now say if you want to select the products having price between a certain range, say 10 to 20. So you could do here say price, replace it with between keyword and say 10 followed by the and keyword and 19, hit enter, and you get all the results from 18, 19 and 10, from 10 to 19. Now let's talk about another important operator, and that is like. To search for, you use like operator to search for a specified pattern in a column, and there are two wildcards you often used in conjunction with a like operator: the percent sign that represents 0, 1 or multiple characters, and the underscore sign represents one or single character. Sorry, my voice is breaking. And the percent sign and the underscore can also be used in combinations. So let me show you what I mean. Say select all from customers. By the way, all of these queries are available in our cheat sheet here in Code Street GitHub gist. Okay, so let's get back to workbench and customers and add the where clause, where say country, and add the like keyword in quotes. Let's add a followed by the percent sign. Now let me tell you the meaning of this expression. It will find any values that start with A. So if I hit enter, we get only one record that starts with A. So if I show you all the records from customers, and I'm going to order it ascending, so we have got only one record having country starting with A. Alright, now you could go otherwise, just change the position of %, hit enter, and that means that all the countries are ending with A. So we have got Canada, Australia, again Canada. So we have got 3 records here, and if you want to see any record having AN and anything before and after AN, so you could add this type of expression, hit enter, and we get 3 results, because we have AN in Canada, we have got AN in Switzerland, we have got AN in Germany, we have got AN in Canada back again. And now here comes underscore. So what we can do is just come here, and first I'm gonna change this to, let's change our column to say customer name, and say you wanna see customer name any character in the beginning, but the second character should be say E, and after that you can have anything. So here now we have got 3 customers having E at the second position. Here we have got Jennifer, 0, and Kevin. Or say if you want to see any customer name that starts with K, at least 3 characters. So let's add another underscore, let's remove E, hit enter, and that fulfills only 2 records, which is Carlberry and Kevin. So they have actually 3 characters, at least 3 characters, and starting with A. And now at last, say I'm gonna change our column to city, and say if you want to see records starting with T and then anything in between and then ending with O. So hit enter, and we get 2 results, Toronto. Now say if you have millions of records, you would like to limit the rows to return, and you can use and for that you can use limit clause. Let me show you what I mean. So say I'm gonna change the database for now, say select, because if I show you the records here in Sakila tables, and let's see, we have got actors table here, and let me show you the records. So how many records we have? We have around 200 records. So say if you want to see only 50 or 100, what you could do is just get back here. So let's close that as well. Select all from Sakila followed by actor, and let's limit to say 50 records. Hit enter, and you get first 50 records. Now the next thing, say if you want to return the smallest value of the selected column, then you can use minimum function, and for the largest value you can use max function. Now let me show you what I mean, and for that let's get back to our e-commerce. I'm gonna, if you don't want to add the database in your every query, you just right click here and set it as default. Alright, so now let's select followed by the min function, and here you will need to add the name of the column, which is price, from products followed by semicolon, hit enter, and it tells you minimum is 10. You have got around 5 products and the minimum value is 10. So this is something what we get with this query. And if you want to go opposite, say maximum, you could add here max keyword or function, hit enter, and you get 22. And this is the maximum value of your products, which is 22. And you would also be interested to know that you can also do some maths, some basic maths in MySQL. And you could do that just by, let's come here and hit select. Say if you want to count the records returned, you could use count function followed by parenthesis, and here you will need to add the name of the column. In this case, price, from the name of the table, in our case products, hit enter, and you have got 5 entries from products. And if you want to have the average value of the price, you could say AVEG, short for average, hit enter, and that is 18. And if you want to know the sum of the prices of your products, you could add here sum function, hit enter, and that is 90. Now say if you want to give a table or a column in a table a temporary name, you can use aliases. They are used to make things more readable. An alias only exists for the duration of the query and created with as keyword. And you can give alias to the table as well as column. Let me show you what I mean. And I'm gonna add here select. Say we have got let me show you. Right click and see, I have got the name of the table is products. So if you have got a very long query, so it wouldn't be recommended for you to type the products that much long keyword repeatedly. So what you will need to do is, let's come here and type here the name of the column, products followed by product ID, from products, and now you can represent products as prod. Simply hit enter and you don't get the result. Select product ID, and what is column product ID products dot. Let's go to the cheat sheet and see select product ID from products. Let's copy and get back to workbench and let's replace it, hit enter, and that works. Okay, so I added simply the name of the table. We don't need that to add. Now if you want to give an alias to the column, so you could do that just by say select product ID, and I'm gonna replace it here from products, hit enter, and now the name of the column is changed to prod. So that's how you can give alias to any of the columns. The next thing that you would like to get into is going to be joins. Say if you want to combine rows from 2 or more tables based on a related column between them, you could use join. And we have got 4 different types of joins: inner join, left join, right join, and cross join. First let me show you an image we have here. Alright, so this is inner join and left join. Inner join means it returns records that have matching values in both the tables, whereas left join meaning that it returns all records from the left table. And don't be confused in left or right, I'll show you in a little bit. So it returns all the records from left table and the matched records from the right table, and the opposite of this concept is right join. It returns all the records from the right table and only matching records from the left table, whereas cross join returns all the records from both the tables, left or right. So now let's get back to workbench, and before we move on to say we'll start from inner join, let's create a couple of tables. Say employees. Let's go to our cheat sheet first and let's find here create employees table. Let's copy the query and make sure that we haven't added. Yes, we don't have employees table, so I'm gonna paste the query here, hit enter. Alright, so that is created, and then you would also like to add or insert some records in our employees table. So let's copy this insert query and let's remove everything from here, paste it, hit enter, and now refresh the schema and we get employees. Let me show you what we have in our employees table. So we have got employee ID, last name, first name, and birth date. I think we have orders table because we will also need orders. So if you don't have it, just create it from here. We have got the query already available here. Let's paste the query. Alright, that has created the orders table, and now let's insert some records in our recently created table, which is orders. Let's copy that and paste it here, hit enter. Now let's start with inner join first. Let me show you. Say select, come on, show me orders followed by, come on, it's not, let's refresh the schemas. Now it should suggest us orders followed by order ID, comma, customers followed by customer name from orders. And now let's add inner join and add here customers followed by on keyword. Let's wrap our editor and on, say orders, and the name of the column, say dot customer ID equals to customers dot customer ID followed by semicolon, and hit enter. Alright, so now let me explain you what we did here. It only returns orders of the customers we have here because that we discussed here. So we have orders table, we have customers, and we have shippers. So here you only see the records from the customers who have ordered us 7. So that's how you can join two tables. So that was inner join, and next we have left join. It returns all records from the left table and the matched records from the right table. And let's copy the query from here, and I will explain you that from there. So let's copy that left join and get back to workbench, paste that here, hit enter. So now you will need to focus only on this part of the query. So we have got two tables here. On the left we have customers, on the right we have orders. So it returns all the orders from the left table but the matching records from the right table, which is in our case orders. So if I order by order ID, so we have got null records because we don't have any matching here, and that's why it returned null, and the rest of the records are all matched up. And after that we have right join. Let's copy the query from here and let's paste that in here. So here you will need to focus on this part of the query. We have left and right, but since this is right join, meaning we'll get all the results from the employees but matched results from the orders, and hit enter, we get all of these employees. So Janet has got no orders, Singleton has not prepared any order, Rosemary has not prepared any order, and Cora has not prepared any order, but Nancy Andrew has prepared all of these orders. So that's how you can join more than one tables this way. And after right join we have cross join. So let's go to our cheat sheet and let's copy the query from here and get back to workbench, select all, paste, hit enter, and you get all the records in cross join. Alright, next we have union operator. It is used to combine the result set of two or more select statements. And things to remember here: every select statement within union must have the same number of columns. The columns must also have similar data types. The columns in every select statement must also be in the same order. Let me show you what I mean. So you can add here, say, select in lowercase city from customers, and let's union another query which is select ect, select, and I'm gonna add city from suppliers. Alright, and don't forget to add the semicolon. Now here we have actually two select statements: select city from customers and select city from suppliers, and we also have union. We have also unified them with the help of this union keyword. Hit enter and we get all the cities from customers as well as suppliers. Now you can move on to the group by statement. Say this statement groups rows that have the same values into summary rows, like find the number of customers in each country. And it's often used with aggregate functions, meaning counts, max, minimum, sum, average, to group the result set by one or more columns. Let me show you what I mean. Let's get back to workbench and type here select count parentheses, and I'm gonna give here name of the, say, customers dot customer, come on, customer ID. Okay, and then let's go for country from customers, but group it by country. Hit enter. Now what does it mean? It shows you the customers from the countries. Say you have got one customer from the United States, you have got one customer from the Switzerland, you have got one customer from Germany, but you have got two customers from Canada. So that's how you can make use of group by to get the results of aggregate functions. The next thing you'll be interested in is having clause. Actually, where keyword cannot be used with aggregate functions that we have just used: counts, minimum, max, average. So therefore having clause was introduced. For example, let me show you. Let's remove everything from here and I'm gonna select. By the way, whatever we have discussed here you could use with other CRUD functionality means create, read, update, or delete. Alright, so just because I want to cover too many things in little passage of time, so that's why training you with the select queries, most of things with the select query. Let's add here count, OUNT, followed by parenthesis, and now let's add customer ID here and add here country from customers, and I'm gonna group it by country in lowercase, and then we are going to add having, and now count followed by parenthesis, and let's add here say customer ID less than 1, and let me check everything should be in sync. Customers, hit enter. Alright, so what does it mean? It actually got all of the results and counted them, but give us only those results that have more than one customer. So in this case we have only one country that has more than one customers. Alright, so that's how you can use having clause. The next thing you would like to know is that if you want to test for the existence of any record in a subquery, you can use exists operator, and here subquery concept is also introduced, and it returns true if the subquery returns one or more records. Let's add here a query. Select supplier name from suppliers where exists followed by parenthesis, and here I'm gonna introduce another query which is subquery. Say select product name, and that is from products where products supplier ID equals to suppliers dot supplier ID, and price should be greater than 20. Hit enter, and we have got only one result, which is New Orleans, and let me show you what I mean by that. First let me open suppliers, select all results, and also products. Say if you want to see the supplier that has a product but the price should be more than 20, so in that case we have only one product, sorry, we have got two products. Let me order it. We have got two products more than 20, 21 and 22, and this is glass and iron, and the supplier ID for both the products is 2. And let me show you who is the supplier having this supplier ID, number 2, and this is New Orleans. That's why we get the result of New Orleans delights. Hope that makes sense. Now you would like to move on to how you can update existing records in a table, and that you can do with the help of update statement. And always remember to use where clause, otherwise all the records will be updated. So let's get back here. First I'm gonna close all of these editors. Okay, and let's select all, remove, and say I'm going to update the price of one of the products. Say first let me show you all the products, and the price of third product is say 20, so let's make this 11. So if you want to change the price or any of the records of the table, so what you could do is just get back here and type update name of the table, in our case products, followed by the set keyword and the name of the column. This is price equals to 11, and the supplier ID equals to 2. Okay, so we have changed, or if you don't want, let's remove this second. So we will only set the price to be 11. Alright, so where products dot product ID equals to, see what we have here, this is 3. Let's make this 3, hit enter. Alright, successfully done. And now if we run this query again, so that is 11 now. Previously it was 10. So that's how you can update the value of any of the columns, and you can go for more than one column as well. Say if you want this to be 15 and the supplier ID to be 3. Right now this is 1 and 11. So let's say products dot supplier ID equals to say 3, hit enter. And if you execute it again, now we have got the supplier ID equals to 3 and the price is equals to 15, what we specified here. That's how you can update the record of any of the table. Now finally, you would like to know that how you can delete existing record in a table, and that's possible with the delete statement. And here you also need to remember that you should use where clause, otherwise all the records will be deleted from that table. So say if you want to remove, let's take the products table again. Say if you want to remove this third record from this table, say com record. So what you could do is, let's come here and type delete from products where product ID equals to 3, hit enter and get back there, execute it again. We don't have com anymore in this table. And say if you want to delete all the record from any of the table, just come back here and do not specify where clause and hit enter, and you are using safe update. So let's get back to our black screen, and this is the functionality of Workbench. It is in safe mode, otherwise you could also change this, but let me show you in the black screen here. Say if you want to remove everything from products, just type here delete from and the name of the table and hit enter, and 4 rows affected, and get back to MySQL. And now if you hit the query, you don't have any record anymore. And that was all about MySQL crash course for beginners. And if you have any question, you just always feel free to comment below. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Thanks for watching and see you next time.